It's such a beautiful morning, and we're here with someone beautiful. I think I think this should be the second year running that we've sent out an invitation to you to be part of this podcast. And finally, we've been able to capture you here today. So I'm really excited that we have today Portia Ihei joining us on the KONI Dialogue Podcast. My name is Obo Joseph, president of SkyCan. I've been to Korea twice in the past 12 years. And Portia has lived her life in Korea for a minimum of 16 months. 16 months eating Korean food, wearing Korean clothes, traveling across Korea. So she has a whole lot to unbundle about her experience in Korea. So it's really a pleasure, Portia, having you on the podcast today. You're
Thank
very
you very
welcome.
much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So can you tell us, from my own view, I'm just thinking, why Korea? How did Korea happen for you?
I would say, first of all,
Yeah.
I remember while I was still at my office, I would have conversations with some of my colleagues. They'll be like, Portia, why don't you consider going for your master's? Like, why don't you go to Uni Abuja, start your master's and all of that? I would always tell them that, in as much as I want to do my master's,
Yeah.
but I don't want to do sofa head masters, you know?
You will define sofa headmasters very soon.
You know, when you have to
Yeah.
struggle, like
Yeah.
enter along and you're going to
Yeah.
school and all. So I told them that if I have to get my master's, it has to be like, I have to be very comfortable,
Yeah.
or it has to be a scholarship. But anything outside that, I'm not going to engage
You don't
in
want
it.
to study with
Exactly.
stress.
At all.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. So for me, that was one of the first motivation when I learned about KOICA. Although, when I started working in my office, I think the first time I came in, that was when they were talking about KOICA. The request came for
Okay.
people to apply and all of that. But, you know, I was just coming in then, so I didn't really know what it was all about. You know, so I just didn't pay attention to
Yeah.
it. So I think it was maybe 2 years after, yes, that when it came, then I remember that very day, my director called me on phone. I was getting ready for work. So he called me on phone. He said, there's something I want to nominate you for. Maybe I will send you on WhatsApp. So look through it and get back to me.
Okay.
So that was how I started. I got to know about it.
Wow. And it's been how many years since you came back to Nigeria?
I would say this is exactly 16 months actually. I came back.
Wow, this is perfect.
Yes.
Spent
so-
16 months in Korea, and right now, 16 months after, you're going to be
Exactly.
talking about your experience. Yeah. So can you give us like a picture, like just paint the picture of your travel experience from Nigeria to Korea?
Okay. I remember that
You didn't
very
carry
day.
extra luggage.
No, I didn't.
that's
I
good.
didn't because I made sure I didn't
You
because
took Nigerian food.
oh my God, a lot.
Did you end up cooking? Like in your, sorry, I asked you a question, but somehow,
Okay, yeah.
like within your program, like, were you in like an accommodation where you had access to cooking utensils
Right.
and all of that? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Good.
Yes, we had a kitchen.
Oh, so you were frying yam, cooking rice and beans, and
I didn't go with
pounding,
yam.
or doing pounding.
I didn't go with yam, but you see my soup stuff because I
Yeah.
love swallow a lot.
Yeah.
So I went to Korea with 2 boxes. One box was full of foodstuffs.
Yeah.
I had stockfish, dry fish, egusi, obono, achi, like uziza, just name it.
Yeah.
Really, I went because I just didn't want to get to Korea and realize I can't feed well.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I was very proactive, I would say, because I realized that there were things I needed. So I made sure that all of those things I needed, I went with it.
Okay.
Yes, when I got to Korea, I didn't have the need to think, oh, I forgot this.
Yeah.
I
You were
was
prepared.
very prepared.
You were very prepared.
Yes.
So what was your journey like? And also, like, when you landed, like, did you feel any different?
Of course, why wouldn't I? You know, going to Korea, that was my first time of actually traveling out of Nigeria. So the excitement, like the expectation I had in my head. And I remember when we got to Incheon, oh my God, like, okay, before we got to Korea, when we stopped at Addis Ababa, it was a beautiful sight to behold because I'm like, oh my God, this place is so beautiful. Like, for someone who was traveling for the first time,
Yes.
right? So then getting into Korea, it felt like you are finally in Korea.
You've
Like,
landed. The eagle has landed.
exactly. I'm like, I'm finally here. Like, it was an exhilarating moment for me.
Wow.
Yes, it was.
So you landed at Incheon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was your journey from Incheon Airport to your university? Like, was it by another flight or by road?
It was by road.
Okay.
Because when we landed, they had already like arranged
Everything.
buses to carry us and all of that. So
Yeah.
when we landed, we picked our luggage and we went with the bus.
Like, how many hours drive was it?
And that's like 2 hours, 30 minutes
2 hours,
from
30
Incheon.
minutes.
Yes.
So that means it's not so far then.
Maybe.
It's not so far then, because I'm just trying to like run the maths. It's actually far because for me, moving from the airport to KOICA HQ was like maybe roughly 45 minutes.
Okay.
So that means you did
sorry,
like...
I forgot. We didn't actually go to my school directly. We went to KOICA headquarters. That's true. I think we stayed for like 2 days or 3 days or thereabouts before we went down to my school. Mm-hmm.
So this is actually coming to mind. People travel sometimes and they feel like there's this culture shock.
Okay.
Did you experience anything of maybe like a cultural shock, or this is how we do things in Nigeria, but this is how Koreans do stuff,
Okay. All right. One of my experiences that was a bit... Koreans would always ask you your age. How old are you? Like, they don't mind. Once they don't need to know you. Like, once they see you, hi, how old are you? And
just like that.
Just like that. And I'm like, why should I tell you my age? Why should I tell you my age? So it was one of the shocking experiences where I'm like,
my age is my business.
Exactly.
Especially the average Nigerian lady does not believe that any other person should know her age.
Exactly. So that was it. Then I remember the hair I made, it was more like a long hair. So it's something unusual, really. It's not the usual attachments hair they make here in Nigeria. So when I got there, every time I went to the market, they would like to touch my hair. Like, is this your hair? Like, they speak Korean. They were just all amazed. Like, what kind of hair is this and all of that. So it was...
But you were not signing autographs, yeah?
No, I wasn't. But I was more like a celebrity,
Celebrity Nigerian in Korea. Wow, that's really nice. That means you had a very good time. What was like a defining moment for you, during your master's period? What was something that really happened that you really felt like, wow, I love this country?
Okay. One thing for me in Korea is I love the way like Koreans are very helpful.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I remember if I went to the mall and probably I need to pick something, I don't know where it is. Once you approach a Korean, before you even talk, they're very willing to assist you. Like, so for me, my experience, I would say that they are kind.
Okay.
Yeah, and helpful.
Koreans are kind and helpful.
For me, yes.
Okay. So I'll go right to Korean food. Okay. Because it appears already that you took the food that would almost last you for that 16 months.
Yes.
Am I right?
You are right.
You carried 16 months food from Nigeria to Korea. So what time did you have to explore Korean food? Like,
I did.
Okay,
there was a time, I remember 4 months after we got into Korea, they needed to fumigate our dormitory. So they moved us to another dormitory where we didn't have kitchen.
Okay.
So there was no place to cook. We didn't have fridge. We didn't have kitchen.
Yeah.
So I was forced to eat Korean food.
So before then, you were not really...
I was not interested.
Are you for real? Like,
yes.
For 4 months?
Yes.
For 4 months,
exactly.
you were eating swallow for 4 months?
That is it. Maybe rice,
swallow and indomie,
noodles, beans, something like that.
God.
But for Korean food...
What happened to kimchi and all those other...
When I'm coming down, so... Now, that
you are a true Nigerian.
That period, we were supposed
Yeah.
to stay in that dormitory for 40 days.
40 days.
Yes,
Wow.
so it felt like we went to the wilderness for 40 days,
Wow.
right? So I was forced to eat Korean food because I couldn't cook. In fact, the kind of hunger I felt that period, I've never experienced it in my life.
But it wasn't a case of there was no food.
Yes, it was just
You
about me
just didn't
going.
want,
Exactly.
You just didn't want to try out
But
something new.
eventually I
Yeah.
had to. I had to. That was when I discovered one. Is it kimchi rice?
Yes,
I think it's
there's
kimchi rice, and there is this other rice they do pork, stir fried pork, something like that
Yeah.
with white rice. So those were the two Korean foods I discovered that period.
You didn't try Korean soup.
For me, it's very difficult for me to try something new, especially when it comes to food, right? So I started with that, and gradually I got to know about jakalbi, which somehow became my best Korean
what?
food. Jakalbi.
What can you
They stir
describe
fried
it?
chicken too. The
Okay.
Korean.
Yeah.
You
the
don't know
one-
jakalbi?
Is it the one they sell like street food?
Like they put the chicken, put garlic, onions, everything
Vegetables,
exactly, and keep stirring it.
I think I had something like that when we went to Itaewon.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was more of like on the streets, you know, at night you just buy stuff and eat. Yeah.
Yes, so that became one of my best. In fact, I liked jakalbi to the extent I had to learn how to cook it, and I cooked
That
it
means
in my room. Yes.
You cook it now.
Yes.
Why don't we?
But I haven't cooked it since I got back to Nigeria.
Why don't we invite some Nigerians to come and try out what you are preparing?
Do you know, sincerely, I would like to cook jakalbi here, but I have one challenge. There is this particular leaf.
Okay.
There's one perilla leaf. I think that's what makes it stand out, really.
Perilla.
Yes.
They don't plant. We don't have that here.
I haven't seen it here.
You can. Maybe you can talk to KOICA and somebody can bring the plant for you.
Honestly, I don't mind, because that is what is holding me from cooking
Wow.
jakalbi. Yes.
Korean food. So in terms of like movies, did you try any out, like any Korean movies?
Honestly, I'm not big on movies. I'm not a movie person.
Okay, so you didn't try out movies.
No.
So what about the Korean culture? Like, what felt like? Did you feel at home with?
Yes, I would say yes. I felt at home, and I like the fact that they are big on respect. You know, when you are to greet an average Korean person,
Take a
probably
bow.
someone that is older than you would always bow.
Yeah.
So, we learned that, and subconsciously, I just really bow to everybody, even the younger ones. I'll just bow to everybody. So that's one thing I really like about them.
Korean culture, Korean life. So was it easy for you to transition? I know that for most Nigerians, like a lot of Nigerians have that challenge with time.
Okay.
And I know that for Koreans, 1 p.m. is 1 p.m. kind of. So was that like a challenge for you, like to meet up with deadlines, with things that had to do with time-related activities? Like how easy was it for you?
No.
I'm not saying you're not a time.
I get it. Yeah, for me, I feel like this is how these people do their thing. So you just have to blend in.
You have to blend.
Yes. So for me, it wasn't really challenging, no.
Okay. What was the biggest deal for you in terms of blending in?
I would say, with the timing for our lectures,
Okay.
there's no excuse. You can't even be absent in class.
Wow.
There is no reason for you
It's
to.
not like I'm tired, I'm sleeping.
There's no reason.
I just feel like taking a break.
No.
Or somebody else will take the notes on my behalf.
No. There's no reason for you to be absent in class. So that's one thing that I'm like.
You go lecture tired. Yeah, so can you describe like what it felt like studying in a Korean university? Your experience, yeah.
Okay, I remember when we started the first semester, we were yet to take our first test. So we are studying, and I remember having this class with one of my colleagues. He was trying to put me through one of the courses, microeconomic theory. When he was trying to, I couldn't pick anything.
A Korean?
No, not a Korean. My colleague now from, I think, one of the African countries, right?
Okay.
Now, as he was trying to teach, because I left university like 10 years before I went for master's, right? So then in my university, I used to be hyper now. Like they know me as I'm brilliant. But that very day, my colleague was trying to put me through that course. I couldn't get it. I just could not get it. At some point, I broke down in tears.
Wow.
Because for me, I'm like, how come me, of all people, that they know that I'm
A
very,
whole Posha.
do you understand? Like, I'm very,
Professor Posha, sorry.
exactly, right? But I could no longer, I couldn't assimilate whatever he was teaching me. So at that moment, I knew that I need to work hard.
Yeah.
I need to study very hard because I can't fail. That's not me.
Yeah.
If you told anybody that Posha failed, it's not
Yeah.
me. So I knew that I had to sit up and
Get to business.
Exactly. So
that kind of meant like extra hours of study.
I studied like there was no God. I studied like mad in Korea.
Wow.
I studied so hard. At some point, I told myself, Oga, Shebi is just to get this master's and go. I studied to the point where I felt like I wasn't coordinating fine mentally.
But was that pressure from the Korean system, or it was a pressure you had to place on yourself so that you could scale through that process?
Good. There was pressure from the Korean system because every day one of the lecturers keeps telling you that if you don't pass, you go back to your home country. If you don't pass, so there was that thing like, we'll send you back to your home country, right? And for me, I'm someone that I believe in doing well. Even if I don't like something, I like to really put in my best.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I knew that for this,
no choices.
I don't have any choice and I have to really put in my best. If they are mentioning maybe people that did well, I have to be part of them. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
So that's motivated me to persevere.
Yes. So tell me about the social life, basically. Korean social life. You didn't like trying out food. You necessarily didn't do so much around movies.
No.
Maybe going to the cinema or maybe going to shows and all of that. So how were you able to socially integrate, within that period of time?
Okay. I've always been like a lone ranger, a loner.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I'm not very big on be out there and all. And KOICA, the program was very, very tough.
Yeah.
For us, maybe for us in Kanwonde, I don't know for other schools, right? It was very demanding and tasking. So I had little time for social activities, except the times we went for field trips. Exactly. And maybe a few times I went to the pub at night just to just a few times really.
To check out the Korean
exactly,
temperature.
Right.
The Korean pub.
Right. That was one of the things I enjoyed about that. I really enjoyed because I would wear my long boots and all of that. So I really
just help us to describe the Korean pub, so for people that
well, that pub is more of, I think what made it lively was us.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, there were a lot of Africans, maybe, just Nigerian, Ghanaians, and the Cameroonians.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So while I was there, it felt like home.
Okay.
Do you understand? It felt like, because we played normal songs, Flavor, Davido, and all of that. So it felt like home.
That means they had those soundtracks.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think that pub too, you are allowed to play whatever you like from your phone. So you'd connect and So it felt like home.
Okay. That's nice.
Yes.
That's really nice because I'm just wondering, the professor in the pub,
No.
it was not an academic pub where people are reading about, are studying and all of that. So, I'm looking now, so much growth, so much development in Korea. And like I've said in other podcast sessions, Korea was almost like a country where if you were given a visa to go spend maybe 2 years, you would say, no, I rather go back to my village. It wasn't a place where people necessarily wanted to spend time. But over the years, the Korean people, that resilient spirit that they have, they decided that it was time for them to rebuild their country.
Yeah.
It was time for them to move from an aid-dependent country to a country that now gives out
Donor,
aid
yeah.
to like a donor country and all of that. So with all that information that you know about Korea's past and how they've now become part of the developed countries in the world, like, where do you see Nigeria in that mixture? This is coming like I just want to know, like, because I know that you must have had those flashes in your mind. You're like, oh my God, my country, my lovely Nigeria, like, when Nigeria, when, you know? So have you been able to answer that when question?
I have not been able to answer it, but what I think I observed from Koreans
Yes.
and what I think got them to where they are now is unity. They were united.
Yes.
Do you understand? They had a vision and they communicated the vision and they all put hands together to bring it to light. So I feel like if we here in Nigeria were able to unite together,
Yes.
no tribal prejudice and all
Yeah.
of that, we are able to come together, I think we do something
We
really
might even be
wonderful.
better than Korea
Yeah.
once we get the unity right.
Exactly.
Then my question to you now is, I'm sorry, like, but I just want to know, like, do you, because you talked about the Korean vision, the Korean unity, like, it's so sweet, it's looking very yummy. What is the Nigerian vision? Has anybody communicated the Nigerian vision in any fora that you are aware of? Like, as a Nigerian, I'm even thinking, the only time I think of, okay, the Nigerian vision, when I listen to at least the former national anthem, the second stanza or even the first stanza, there's a part that talks about to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
Right.
You know, that really hits different. You know, that's like the anthem communicating the vision to me. But apart from that, like, do you have an idea of the Nigerian vision?
I don't think I don't think I have a clear idea. But what you just said is
because I'm thinking like somebody should be able to tell us this is the Nigerian vision. This is the aspiration. This is where we are trying to get to in the next 10 years. This is where we are trying to get to in the next 20 years. And I'm not talking about maybe the vision that maybe government agencies come up with and they say, okay, in the next 10 years, this is where we are going to. All those vision documents, there are a whole lot of them across different parastatals and agencies of government. But I'm just talking about that simple Nigerian citizen.
Yeah.
What is the vision? Because if you go to Korea now, you're not really talking about what is the vision. You are seeing the vision. Like people that have had that vision in the past, they have created that vision to what the current generation is able to see.
Right.
You know, so it kind of worries me sometimes, and I feel strongly that there's a lot that we can actually learn from the Koreans. You know, the Koreans are like our brothers, you know. In terms of development, let's call them big brothers.
Exactly.
You know, but when you look at Nigeria, we have the natural resources. There is almost no natural resource that you cannot necessarily find in Nigeria. Not to talk of the human capital.
Right.
A country of over 200 million people. And you, Portia, you are one of that. You are part of the 200 million people. So I want to ask you, really, like, from what you experienced in Korea, like, what would you like to see in Nigeria?
I would like to see development, like a development that is sustainable. It's not just we put up this today and in the next 4 years, in the next 4 years, the new regime comes and it doesn't work again. We want to see development and continuity of that development.
Developmental continuity.
Yes.
That's actually a very big one. And it's not impossible, really. It's really not impossible.
I think it's not impossible. It's something that is achievable. If we just have one common goal, if everybody thinks, okay, this is our country, what can we do to make this country better? And everybody is committed to that goal.
Yeah.
Once we are all committed to that, united and committed to that goal, I don't think it's something we cannot achieve.
Yeah, you know. Portia is very confident that, Nigeria can be on that whole developmental trajectory, like up, going
Yes.
always up, never
If
backward.
exactly
Yeah.
if we're united and have a common goal.
Okay, so let's go to safety. People say Korea is one of the safest countries in the world. Do you agree with that?
I agree very well. I totally agree because I remember in my school you could walk around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and you're not bothered about
Anything,
anything, anybody willing you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's for me, it's safe, very safe.
So were there moments that made you appreciate the safety of Korea? Are there things that you would do in Korea that you can't do in Nigeria?
Of course. I mean, like literally in Korea, you could maybe, let's say, for instance, you went to a cafe and or a coffee shop, and probably you forgot your phone. You could go home and come back and meet your phone.
I've heard that a lot of times.
Yeah, you could go home, come back, and your phone is there waiting for you. But you and I know that.
Don't continue, please.
Yeah.
Don't continue. Just leave it like that. Because somebody shared an experience. In fact, he was on a bus. He left his phone in a bus, in a bus that was filled with people. It was a passenger inside of that bus that picked the phone, gave it to the driver. The driver went to the bus station, dropped it there. Like 3 days after, the person went to the bus station asking of a phone, and they're, can you describe the phone? He described, okay, take your phone. Like that to me is just like a wow experience, because in different parts of the world, I wouldn't necessarily know the particular country, but in different parts of the world, like even if you leave your pencil somewhere, there's no guarantee
that you'd come back to
even in places of religious worship. People still move a lot of things and all of that. But it's really nice to know that in terms of safety, like a country is that conscious that something that is meant for somebody else, like they preserve it, they keep it. And there's so much that a lot of developing countries can pick up, because I necessarily don't think it's because Korea is a prosperous country. That's why they have that attitude.
I think it's just about their values, their value system, right? They are very simplistic humans. I don't see Koreans as people that, no, they're just there.
The Koreans are very simple. Very simple. You can, how do I say this? The focus is not on looks
at all, or material things.
Or material things. The focus is on delivery. In fact, I used to know of a Korean acquaintance that maybe if you look at 5 days in a week, she could wear the same suit for 4 out of those 5 days. Not necessarily caring about, how do I look, how do I appear, and all that, But back home here in Nigeria, like we're actually more expressive in my view. Nigerians are extremely expressive people, and I think that's one of the things that really makes Nigeria what Nigeria really is. It's still a selling point for Nigerians. We love fashion, we love entertainment, the whole cultural exuberance. Those are things that we really appreciate here in Nigeria. But I want to know from you, I want to bounce off that question, because from everything that you've shared, is there something you would like to say about that, really, about the simplicity of the Korean people?
I would say that it's something I like personally, because I used to tell my friends that even if I become a billionaire today, please, I like to just do my weaving, like just the normal.
Yeah.
I really love that they are just like that.
Okay.
So for me, that's what I subscribe to.
Okay, that's
simple lifestyle. I mean, what are we doing? Who are we trying to impress?
Do
you get? So it was a lot easier for me. I'm like, I think I've met my people where I can be who I want to be, and nobody thinks, why is she dressed this way? Why is she not wearing a wig? Why is she?
Yeah.
So it felt like I was home.
It felt like home for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's a value that the Koreans have, and it's for me, I feel that whole ostentatious living a flamboyant lifestyle is one of the things that has made some people in certain parts of the developing world you would enter somebody's garage and you can find like 20 cars.
Yeah.
Maybe you see like 8 cars, the same brand, different colors. And you'd be wondering like, does this still even make sense?
But the truth is, if they can comfortably afford it, that's fine. I mean, if that's
let
what
people
they
flex, let people just enjoy your money.
Exactly, right. So that's okay
if
that's what they want and they can comfortably
more like have like 3 private jets, spend them different colors.
I mean,
it's
that's
your
their money, right?
Fly in
that's
the
what they want.
Yellow jet, red jet, blue jet. Anyways, that's okay. May God continue to prosper even. But my own pain basically is where people now, the money for schools, let's say you have a budget of 5 billion for school projects, for example.
Okay.
Somebody takes 3 billion, maybe use 1.5 billion to do the work, then shares the remaining 500 million. Those kinds of things where projects, rail projects, hospital projects, school projects, road projects, train projects, like infrastructure projects, things that should sustain like the future generations, people of power, people of means, people that had have access to the treasury in a lot of developing countries. I'm not even talking of Nigeria now, because I know that Nigeria is not that kind of country. Nigeria is such a great country. There's no corruption. Things are working out well. The government is working for the people. Nigeria is a great country. There's a lot of stability in this country in terms of security. This is a wonderful place to live. There are a lot of very wonderful things. So I'm not talking of Nigeria. I'm talking of that developing country somewhere, in some part of the world, where there's a lot of people eat. Somebody will even say, yes, this project is 100 million. I ate 95. Boldly, and nothing will happen. And maybe after a while, the person says, okay, I want to now become maybe like a leader in a particular, I don't want to use the word a particular state, in a particular region, like a regional leader. The person now becomes a regional leader. The people that he's stealing from are still the ones hailing him to go on and all that. So that's not it's not Nigeria I'm talking about. I'm talking about another country. But I want to know from you, in terms of technology, like, was there anything about the Korean life that really wowed you technologically?
For me, the network, their internet is very fast, because with the scholarship.
Mostly free, right?
Yes, it was free. Like, we had a Wi-Fi in each room. Each room had a Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. So we didn't need to bother about. So the internet, when it comes to that, it's very fast.
Even when you're driving
exactly at the bus station or something, you could still have access to free Wi-Fi. So that's, for me, was a good one. Then the transportation system, I like it that you can plan your time. Okay, when the bus is coming.
Yeah.
Maybe by 10:15, you know that the bus is coming by 10:15. So you can make plans and, make sure that at that time you're able to catch up with the bus. But if it's the other places, you don't have control of your time somehow, because you don't even know, okay, if I enter this bus, when is this bus coming? Will I get to my destination? Exactly, right. But the fact that you are able to monitor these things like on your phone, it really makes life a lot easier.
It would be nice to see, because for me, I even feel that this is really so basic, if you ask me. Like, it's doable.
Exactly.
It's very doable.
It's basic there, but not basic in some other countries, right? Yeah.
This one that we're not talking of other countries. It's safer to talk of other countries, really. But I want to know, like, 16 months after, is there anything about your 16 months in Korea that still impacts the way you live your life now?
Yes. When I got to Korea and when I stayed in Korea, I realized that before I came to Korea, I was living on survival mode.
Oh.
Right. So I would say Korea stripped me of all those, let's do this, right? So I'm a bit calmer now. I feel like even if I'm faced with any challenge, I'll just be like, okay, we'll take care of it, but not by.
Yeah.
So that has stuck with me. Anything I do, anything that looks like survival mode, I'm not interested. I don't want to be there because when I tell people that I know how I used to look before I went to Korea, and now that I'm back from Korea, I would maintain whatever I look like now. Yeah, so survival mode.
You know how you used to look, but it's still the same face.
No, I look a lot better now. Wow. Yes. So and then I was living survival mode. Yeah. So I told myself, no, there's a way you can actually handle life issues without having to drain yourself and struggle all those. Wow. So for me, that's one of the things.
Well, I really would like to pry further, because a lot of people, for no fault of theirs, actually, they're on that whole survival mode part. Like, there's just that worry, like, how is tomorrow going to look like? And I feel that that's one of the things that really drives people when they get into public service. They want to steal the entire treasury dry because they are afraid of what tomorrow would be like. So corruption is on the increase. People are stealing from government coffers, things like that. So how exactly have you been able, how did you make that shift? Because I feel that this might help somebody out there. Like, what exactly did you do, or who did you become to be a different person with respect to that?
For me, it was about knowing that, I go to school, I come back, and every month I get my stipend, right? So for me, the only struggle I had to do was to study. Yeah. Right. And there was that thing of knowing that every month something as huge as that stipend was going to come, right? Yeah. Which is far better than what you were exposed to back then, right? Good. So it made me look like, so life can be a lot better.
More structured,
Do you understand? Oh, okay. So I'm able to afford the things I couldn't afford then. Yeah. Do you understand? So, and it made me understand that life shouldn't just be about all of those struggles and all of that and all of that and all of that, right? You can actually live it really easily if you just focus on the things that are important. Okay. Do you understand? So it was just about knowing that every month I had something to rely on, right? And for me, being a very simplistic person, I don't care about a lot of things. There are a lot of things I don't care about. Okay. I don't care about clothes. I don't care about wigs. I don't care about, I'm just really, I just want to eat and sleep, just, be human, just be the normal person I have to be, right? So Korea,
that means you've stripped yourself of a lot of burdens.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I'm not easily influenced or easily swayed by this trend. No. Wow. No, I'm not. So Korea made me know that, it's actually very simple that way. I'm not saying that you wouldn't work hard for something you want or a better life, right? But this time you do it from the place knowing that it's not a do or die affair, right?
More like living your best life simply.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you understand?
And even just to add to what you've said, it just comes across to me like, if people go on a simple route, you can almost cut off at least 50% of your worries. You drop them.
Pressure.
You drop that pressure and you just focus on being a human being and living your best life possible.
That is it.
Without really that thinking of, I need to get this, I need this latest this, I need all of those things, So I think that's really good. So in terms of misconceptions, right? Mm-hmm. Is there something about Korea that maybe you must have heard about, and when you got to Korea, you were like, oh, this is entirely different?
While I was here, before I went to Korea, I see people crazy about the K-drama, this, that, Korean, this, that, right? Like I said, I'm not big on movies, but then there is this, I was just going to say madness, but let's just say there's this thing about
the craze.
The craze about K-drama, this. But when I got to Korea, it was just, hello.
So that means the real world is different from the movies.
Yes, or maybe my location too. Probably, I stayed
Yeah.
in Kanwondo, right?
Yeah.
So maybe some of those realities happen in
In
Seoul or
Seoul,
something.
yeah.
So, but it's not the way, when I see some people, they say my dream country is Korean. I'm like, okay.
See you in Korea then. Come and join. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but it's nice because recently there's this movie on Netflix,
Okay.
the Phantom Lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful Korean movie. I've never really been very big on Korean movies, but recently I was like, okay, let me even try one or two Korean. I watched the first one. I watched Phantom Lawyer. It was really nice.
Okay.
Then there was another one, I can't remember the name, but it was also about somebody who really wanted to be a lawyer to bring justice for the Korean people.
Okay.
I watched that whole season, about 13 episodes. I saw that through. So I'm thinking, apart from the bags you brought from Korea, I'm sure you must have done some shopping, maybe bought some items, souvenirs to share to friends back home in Nigeria. But beyond all of that, what are 3 things, apart from visible things now, what are 3 things from Korea that you would love to see in Nigeria? I know you could make a list of 100, but I just want us to keep it simple. Let's just have 3.
Okay. I would like maybe the security part.
Okay.
I wish maybe we can really here in Nigeria work on our security issues.
Okay.
Right, because I feel like insecurity is really doing a lot more harm than good in this country.
Yeah.
That's number 1. And light.
Okay. Power.
Yes, electricity,
Yes.
power, right? Because Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians are business people, and some of them rely on
Public power.
exactly to function. So I wish and hope that the government is able to, do something about the power sector so that we're able to have stable electricity.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I would say, should I say the education part? Although we are trying in Nigeria, actually, we are doing good, but I think we can do better.
Okay.
Really. Yeah, because one thing I picked from Korean education system is not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to study very hard. Yes, you study very hard. So that's one of the things I would like to also see them implement here in Nigeria.
Yeah. So in my mind, somewhere in my mind, I'm thinking there's a Nigerian out there, or there are a lot of Nigerians out there that want to study in Korea. You know, a lot of people have that on their wish list. What would you tell them that would help them, to prepare better,
Okay.
in terms of relocating to Korea for study purposes?
Okay, from my experience, first of all, I would say you have to make up your mind to study. Yes, I'm serious. Like,
Wow,
have to
that
make
didn't even cross my mind.
you have
Like,
to make up your mind that like the education system in Nigeria is different from Korean's education system. In Korea, you have to study hard. Like, it's not the thing where you just maneuver, now
Yeah.
what I am, all of that.
yeah, I don't know, but go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. So there,
How will I know?
you have to roll your sleeves.
Yeah.
And in Korea, I think their pass is C.
Oh, really? Not
Yes, not E. No, they're not like E. I think it's C, something like that. I think anything A is 100 to 90, something like that. A plus.
Wow.
100 to 90.
But I think A plus is like from 70.
70, yeah. So you see the difference. So if you're coming to Korea to study, just know that you have to buckle up. Yeah, because it's going to stretch you. But at the end of the day, once you're committed and dedicated and you persevere, you're going to come out in flying colors. We did it, so why not? You can.
Oh my God, see that pride. The pride. The pride of
Yes,
we did it.
We did it. So you can do it too.
All right then. So in terms of your final words, do you have any final words for Nigeria, for Korea, you know.
I want to say, I'll keep saying it every time I'm given the opportunity to speak about my Korean experience. I'd always want to say very big thank you to KOICA.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if I didn't go to Korea, I don't know how my life would have been. Because, I mean, it changed my life for the better, right?
Wow.
Aside the experiences, I got my certificates. Like, I did well in my master's, you know. So it's something I know that if I was to spend my money, it was
Yeah.
going to cost me a
A
lot.
lot. Yeah.
But look at me, I went free of charge. I didn't have to pay nothing, you know. So I want to say a very big thank you to KOICA for the opportunity. Yeah.
Wow.
And thank you to Nigerian government too, because if I wasn't nominated and went through the interview process,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been here
True.
today.
Very
So
true.
thank you so much.
Yeah. I want to thank the Nigerian government in advance. I want to sow a seed of thanks to Nigerians. And my seed of thanks is simply that I don't want to be, I'm not a Martin Luther King kind of an individual, but I have a dream that one day we would be sponsoring Nigerian scholars. Sorry, Korean scholars all the way from Korea to come and study in Nigerian universities and take back home to Korea the lessons learned from Nigeria. I believe that one day
I believe
Nigeria will rise up to that point, that pivotal point. We will look at the world from that horizon and say, Nigeria is a powerhouse in the world. And it will be of utmost benefit and ecstasy for me personally to see that, you know, Koreans would gather and say, oh, I love Nigeria.
Nigeria, right.
It sounds funny, right?
So it's doable, it's possible. I mean,
but we have to make it work, really. We can't always put all the, of course, the politicians have their role to play, but as individuals, we must live here at every opportunity to see how can we give back. We've learned from Korea, we've studied there, we understand their ways, we've picked up value systems that grow economies, that grow countries, that perfect leaderships, you know, leadership across the continent, all of those values. How can we begin to plant the seeds? And I think that this is what KOICA really expects from Nigerian scholars who have been to Korea and studied, is for us to begin to plant those seeds of development, those seeds of the ownership of the conscience of a country. We need to take back that. Sorry, but I don't know.
I can see the passion.
Anyways, it's really been a wonderful pleasure talking to you today, Portia. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for being on the KONI Dialogue Podcast. And hopefully maybe in another, because we are thinking, I'm thinking actually, we're thinking of having like a KONI Dialogue series, like a webinar series online, where we would group individuals in terms of the sector. You received your training, then we can create programs around that so that we can begin to share best practices, global best practices and all of that. All in a bid to move Nigeria forward. You know, that's really the goal, because for me, I'm very passionate about Africa. I do a lot of things, you know, beyond the KONI Dialogue Podcast. I'm thinking in terms of AfriVantage. What is the African advantage? What do we have as Africa that we can sell out to the world as the African advantage? So I came up with something called AfriVantage. You know, so we are still building that concept. And the concept is really for Africa. And for people like you that have been to the world, see what has worked, how can we translate what works into, how can we mix it with what is not necessarily working per se, in a way that what is not working does not take over what works, but what works can now begin to influence what is not working. And thereby we are building something really great for the continent. So that's the future, and that's what KONI Dialogue Podcast is really about. So thank you guys. Do not forget, do like, do share, do subscribe. And if there's something else you would like to do in Korea, you want to know much more about Korea, please reach out to SkyCan. We are here to assist you and to provide as much opportunity or as much information as possible for you to be part of all the things that Korea is doing in Nigeria, and how you can also maybe travel for training programs and all of that. So it's really been a pleasure, Portia, talking to you. Thank
Same
you
here.
so much. Thank
You're
you for being on
welcome.
the show today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, bye.